Welcome back to another musical theatre pub quiz. So, if you've been joining us through all of these, welcome back. It's great that you're keeping them up. I hope they're still as entertaining and as challenging as usual. If you are new to it, hello. If you are new, there will be 5 rounds of 10 questions. So there'll be 50 questions, and each round will have a certain theme. Some we've done before and some new ones, so hopefully there's something for everyone. If you are new, do check out the channel, and there are a load more quizzes on there, mostly musical theatre, but there are a couple of other ones as well for some more eclectic tastes. See if anything tickles your fancy. Okay, we've got some new rounds for you this week. I thought I'd spice it up a little with some old rounds as well. So I'll stop babbling and let's get to the bit that you actually turn up to watch. Let's get on to round number 1. Round number 1 is always the composer's round. So I thought, as we've done sort of 7 rounds of name the show and then give me the composer, etc., etc., I thought I would spice it up a little bit and see if, now that you know the names of these composers, if you recognise them. So I'm going to put up the photos of 10 composers. You just need to tell me who they are. Some of them will be tricky, some of them will be easy. It's the way this quiz works. So good luck. I'll put up the images now. There you go. There they are, 1 to 10. I know, not a most sort of diverse mix of people. That's just the sad state of affairs that we're in as regards to well-known and popularised composers. Hopefully that is on the change. But for now, this is going to be all I have to offer. I might do a more difficult one next week. We shall see, with some lesser known composers, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, you can stop me rambling on now. Press pause and you can have a look at them and come up with some names. And then when you're ready, just press play. And let's go on to round number 2. So, round number 2 is, as usual, a lyrics round, but again, there's a bit of a twist on that theme this week. So the theme of the lyrics is numbers. So I'm going to give you a show and a lyric which contains a number, but I'm not going to tell you what that number is. You just need to tell me the number that goes in the blank space. Okay? So let's give it a try. Number 1 is from Kinky Boots, and the lyric is, I used to be a blank, but now I clearly feel I may be the hero who reinvents the heel. So again, what is the missing number from that lyric? I used to be a blank, but now I clearly feel I may be the hero who reinvents the heel. Okay, hope you're getting it. Number 2 now is from Everybody's Talking About Jamie. And the lyric is, and when you're old like blank, you'll all remember Jamie New. So what number goes in that gap? And when you're old like blank, you'll all remember Jamie New. That is number 2. Number 3. Blank minutes. How do you measure a year? And that is from Rent. So what is the number that goes there? Blank minutes. How do you measure a year? And that is for number 3. On to number 4 from Hamilton. It's the blank dual commandments. So again, for number 4, it's the blank dual commandments. And that is from Hamilton. How are we getting on with these so far? Hopefully they're fairly straightforward. Again, always have a guess if you don't know. And let's move on to number 5. This is from Come From Away. And the lyric is, and now I'm adding this up, we got blank planes. We got 200-300 people on the average. So what is that number? And now I'm adding this up, we got blank planes. We've got 200-300 people on the average. And that was number 5. Number 6 is from Company. And another blank people just got off the train. And another blank people just got off of the train. Sorry. That's number 6. And another blank people just got off of the train. What is the missing number there? Number 7 is from Dreamgirls. You've got blank night only, that's all you have to spare. What is the number? It's the same number in both blanks. What is that number? You've got blank night only, that's all you have to spare. And that is for number 7. Number 8. This is from Les Miserables. That man bears no more guilt than you. Who am I? Blank. Pretty iconic number, so hopefully most of you will get this one. Number 8. That man bears no more guilt than you. Who am I? Blank. Number 9 is from Evita. Blank shows a week, 2 matinees. My, how the worm begins to turn. Again, for number 9, that is blank shows a week, 2 matinees. My, how the worm begins to turn. That is from Evita. And finally, number 10, a nice easy one here from The Sound of Music because I couldn't not put it in. I am 16 going on blank. What could that one be? I am 16 going on blank, and that is number 10. So take a moment, go back through them, fill in the gaps, always take a guess. I always say it, it's worth a punt. And then when you're ready, we'll move on to round 3. Round 3 is the, dare I say, iconic playbills round. So for those of you who are new to this, I will give you or show you on the screen 10 Broadway playbills for musicals with the titles masterfully photoshopped out. You just need to tell me what the show is that the playbill is for. Some of them might be originals, some might be revivals, so there's a nice mix of stuff in there. That's it really, just all to say. So let's put up the images now. And here they are. And normally we don't want to hear me yapping away in the background, so I'll now be quiet where you can pause and have a look over and write down your answers. And let's move on to round number 4. Round 4 is our rule of threes round. Now what those threes are, I guess, changes from time to time. This is such a time. So this time I'm going to ask you questions about trios. So that's trios within shows. That's all I can really explain at the minute. When you get the questions, hopefully they'll make a lot more sense. So let's jump in with question number 1. Which show has the 3 Schuyler sisters? So again, that's which show has the 3 Schuyler sisters? And that is for number 1. Number 2. Which musical follows the musical career of Dina, Laurel, and Effie? So again, for number 2, which musical follows the musical career of Dina, Laurel, and Effie? Number 3. In what show do April, Kathy, and Marta sing about the one man who could drive a person crazy? Okay, so number 3, again, that is in what show do April, Kathy, and Marta sing about the one man who could drive a person crazy? Number 4. Whose best friends are Omar, Babcock, and Kasim? That's number 4. Whose best friends are Omar, Babcock, and Kasim? Okay, how are we getting on? As usual, I will always say this. Feel free to pause at any time if you need some more time to answer. Otherwise, if you want a challenge, then let's keep up with the pace, and then you can have a look back at the end of the round. So I know sometimes I can go a little fast. So, with that in mind, moving on to number 5. In what show would you find a trio who might visit the candy store? So number 5, that is, in what show would you find a trio who might visit the candy store? Number 6, in Gypsy, the gimmicks you have to get if you want to get ahead include the horn, the switch, and what? So again, that's in Gypsy. The gimmicks you have to get if you want to get ahead include the horn, a switch, and what else? Number 7. In what show might Don Lockwood, Kathy Selden, and Cosmo Brown dance the whole night through? So in what show might Don Lockwood, Kathy Selden, and Cosmo Brown dance the whole night through? Number 8. In Merrily We Roll Along, the old friends at the centre of the story are Charlie Gringus, Mary Flynn, and who else? So number 8 again, in Merrily We Roll Along, the old friends at the centre of the story are Charlie Gringus, Mary Flynn, and who else? Number 9. In what show might you watch Violet, Judy, and Doralee punish their misogynistic boss? So number 9. In what show might you watch Violet, Judy, and Doralee punish their misogynistic boss? And here we are at number 10, the last question of the round. In what show would you begin by watching 3 guys betting on the horse races? So in what show would you begin by watching 3 guys betting on the horse races? And that is number 10. Take a pause if you'd like to go over, fill out any missed answers. Always have a go, always have a guess. And then when you're ready, let's move on to the final round. The final round this week is a Shakespeare-inspired round. So the following 8 questions are going to be a musical, and you need to tell me what play by William Shakespeare it was based on. Okay, so that is 8 musicals, and you need to tell me which play by Shakespeare they were based on. Okay, so number 1. Which piece of Shakespeare was The Lion King based on? Some people will be baffled to know it was based on Shakespeare. So which Shakespearean play was The Lion King based on? That is number 1. Number 2, Kiss Me Kate. What play inspired Kiss Me Kate? Number 3, From a Jack to a King. So that's number 3, From a Jack to a King. Number 4, The Boys from Syracuse. Some of you are hating me for this round, I am sure. But give it a go. Just give it a go. Number 4, what play by Shakespeare inspired The Boys from Syracuse? Number 5 is All Shook Up. That's number 5, All Shook Up. Number 6, West Side Story. So which play by Shakespeare is West Side Story based on? Number 7, Return to the Forbidden Planet. So Return to the Forbidden Planet for number 7. So number 8, Two Gentlemen of Verona. Two Gentlemen of Verona is number 8. That is the last of those questions. Number 9, which musical sees Anne Hathaway and William Shakespeare rewrite one of his greatest plays? So number 9, which musical sees Anne Hathaway and William Shakespeare rewrite one of his greatest plays? And number 10, the final question of this quiz. Which musical follows Shakespeare through the origin of musical theatre. So which musical follows William Shakespeare through the origin of musical theatre? That is your 50th question. Go back over, check any answers, make a guess if you've got gaps, and then when you're ready, we'll go into some answers. Time for some answers then. Okay, round one, the composers round. This time sneakily changed to a picture round. I wonder how you got on. So let's work our way through, shall we? Let's put up the wonderful composers. Number one there is, of course, Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber. So, Andrew Lloyd Webber for number one. Number two, I purposefully put this one not in a pairing because he was a part of two famous pairs. This is Richard Rodgers of Rodgers and Hart and of Rodgers and Hammerstein. So there is Richard Rodgers for number two. Number three is Stephen Sondheim. So number three, Stephen Sondheim. Number four, Janine Tesori. So number four there, Janine Tesori. Number five is Lin-Manuel Miranda. So number five there, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Number six, now that is a picture of Kander and Ebb. And John Kander there is the one standing up with the lighter colour jumper. So if you knew that was John Kander, well done. But that picture there is of Kander and Ebb. Number seven, that is George Gershwin. Normally seen in photos with his brother Ira, of course. But that there is composer George Gershwin for number seven. Number eight is Cole Porter. Well done if you said that. That is Cole Porter for number eight. Number nine, there is Sarah Bareilles. So number nine is Sarah Bareilles. And number 10 is Jonathan Larson. Jonathan Larson is number 10. There we go. How did you do in that round? Well done if you got all 10. That was quite hard and quite sneaky on my behalf, but I hope you liked the change. So let's move on then to round number 2. Round number 2 was the lyrics round, and this week was all themed by numbers, missing numbers from these lyrics. So, number 1 from Kinky Boots, I used to be a 0, but now I clearly feel I may be the hero who reinvents the heel. So that was 0, was the missing number there for number 1. Number 2, from Everybody's Talking About Jamie, and when you're old like 32, you'll all remember Jamie New. There you go. Depressingly, the answer there is 32 for question 2. Number 3 is, of course, 5,025 million. Number 3 was, of course, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year from Rent? So that is 525,600 is the answer there for number 3. And number 4 from Hamilton, it's the 10 dual commandments. So the answer there, 10 for number 4. Number 5, and now I'm adding this up, we got 38 planes. We've got 300 people on the average from Come From Away there. We got 38 planes. Number 5. Number 6 from Company. And another 100 people just got off of the train. So 100 there for number 6. Number 7, you've got One Night Only. One night only, that's all you have to spare. From Dreamgirls, 1. That's the answer to number 7. Number 8, That Man Bears No More Guilt Than You. Who Am I? 24601. From Les Mis, 24601, the prisoner number of Jean Valjean, also the prisoner number of Sideshow Bob in The Simpsons. Number 9, 8 shows a week, 2 matinees, My How the Worm Begins to Turn from Evita. So 8 was the missing number there for number 9. And the last question, question number 10, I am 16 going on 17 from The Sound of Music. So 17 is the answer there. Great stuff. Tally up your answers and let's move on to round number 3. And round number 3 was another pictures round, our regular Playbills round. So let's get the images back up. There you go, the 10 playbills. Here are the shows that those playbills are for. Number 1 is Avenue Q. So Avenue Q, number 1. Number 2, American Idiot. That is Green Day's American Idiot there for number 2. Number 3, that's the original image there for Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. So number 3, Sweeney Todd. Number 4, that is Damn Yankees. Well done if you got that one. That's Damn Yankees there for number 4. Number 5, Come From Away. That's Come From Away for number 5. Number 6, Billy Elliot. So 6 there is Billy Elliot. 7 could only be Tina the musical. So that's Tina for number 7. Number 8, slightly difficult one, maybe. Well then if you got it right, it was Big Fish. So number 8 is Big Fish. Number 9, The Producers. So that's Mel Brooks' The Producers for number 9. And number 10 is Disney's Tarzan. So that is Tarzan for number 10. So how did we all do? Well done if you got the full 10 out of 10. Tally them all up. And then let's move on to round number 4. Here are the answers for round number 4 then. The rule of threes. So these were the questions that were all based around trios in musicals. So, number 1, which show has the 3 Schuyler sisters? That is, of course, Hamilton. So Hamilton for number 1. Number 2, which musical follows the musical career of Dina, Laurel and Effie? That is Dreamgirls. So they are the Dreamgirls. That's number 2. Number 3, in what show do April, Kathy and Marta sing about the one man who could drive a person crazy? That is Company. Company for number 3. Number 4, whose best friends are Omar, Babcock and Kasim? They are Aladdin's 3 friends. So that's Aladdin for number 4. Number 5, in what show would you find a trio who might visit the candy store? That is Heathers. So Heathers there for number 5. Number 6. In Gypsy, the gimmicks you have to get, if you want to get ahead, are a horn, a switch, and finesse. So the third gimmick is finesse. Well done if you got that one. Number 7. In what show might Don Lockwood, Kathy Selden and Cosmo Brown dance the whole night through? It is Singing in the Rain. So Singing in the Rain is the answer for number 7. Number 8. In Merrily We Roll Along, the old friends who are at the centre of the story are Charlie Kringus, Mary Flynn, and that Frank. It's Franklin Shepherd. So Franklin Shepherd. I would expect the whole name for that, as there is a whole song named after his name. So Franklin Shepherd there is the answer for number 8. Number 9. In what show might you watch Violet, Judy and Doralee punish their misogynistic boss? That is 9 to 5 for number 9. That wasn't intended, by the way, but, struck a luck. 9 to 5 for number 9. And number 10, in what show would you begin by watching 3 guys betting on the horse races? It is Guys and Dolls. It's Food for Tin Horns. So Guys and Dolls there for number 10. Tally them up. We're almost there now. Let's move on to the answers for round number 5. The final round of answers. How are you doing so far? Hopefully you're enjoying the new rounds. This one, I think, will divide people. This is now a Shakespeare-themed round. So the first 8 questions were, I will give you a musical. You need to tell me what play by Shakespeare they were based on. There were some more obscure ones in there, I know. So let's see how you got on. So number 1 was The Lion King. That is based on Hamlet. So number 1, Hamlet. Number 2, Kiss Me Kate, was based on The Taming of the Shrew. So Kiss Me Kate is The Taming of the Shrew, number 2. Number 3, From a Jack to a King. Fairly obscure show, I'd say, by Bob Carlton, who wrote Return to the Forbidden Planet, which is coming up in a bit, which is a brilliant rock and roll jukebox musical based on Macbeth. So well done if you said that. Number 3 was Macbeth. Number 4, The Boys from Syracuse, was quite a big musical on Broadway, based on The Comedy of Errors. So well done if you said Comedy of Errors for number 4. Number 5, All Shook Up, which used the music of Elvis, as you would imagine, but it used the story of Twelfth Night. So number 5 was Twelfth Night, was the basis of All Shook Up. Number 6, West Side Story, which is famously based on Romeo and Juliet. So that's Romeo and Juliet for number 6. Number 7 was Return to the Forbidden Planet. So again, a great jukebox musical there by Bob Carlton. Kind of the granddaddy of jukebox musicals, I think. And it was based on, as was the film, it was based on The Tempest. So number 7 is The Tempest. And number 8, Two Gentlemen of Verona, which was, I think it's from the 70s. It was written by the team that wrote Hair, believe it or not. And this was to try and throw you. Some of it might have worked, who knows. But it was based on Two Gentlemen of Verona. So well done if you saw through my bluff there. It was Two Gentlemen of Verona for number 8. Number 9, which musical sees Anne Hathaway and William Shakespeare rewrite one of his greatest plays? It is the new musical based on the music of Max Martin. It's And Juliet. So that's And Juliet for number 9. And number 10, which musical follows William Shakespeare through the origin of musical theatre. It is Something Rotten. And there you go. 50 questions. How did you do? Tally them all up. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll do another one for next week. Do let me know if there's any rounds that you want added. Do let me know your scores as well. I like to see sort of how difficult I'm making it or how easy by people commenting or tweeting me their scores. I am at DirectorDan86 on Twitter. So do drop me a tweet if you want to let me know how you're getting on. Great. Next, there'll be a tiebreaker for those of you who need it. But if not, stay safe and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. So, time for the tiebreaker question. If you are playing in groups or want to compete and we need a winner, then here is the question. So, Carrie, the musical, based on Stephen King's Carrie, was and is one of Broadway's most famous flops. Even though it's a great show, it is one of the most famous flops. How many shows did it run for on Broadway, including previews? So how many shows in total did it have on Broadway? Nearest to the number wins. So pick an answer. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is 21 performances. That's 16 previews and 5 actual performances. So 21 is the answer. Well done.
We're glad you came, but we have to shout adios. Au revoir. We don't say goodbye. Get lost. Get out.
It's over.